Hello, Internet. In this video, we're going to be creating a REST API using Angular. So, the first thing you're going to need to do is install Angular. Angular. Yeah. Okay, you're going to have to install it doing this, npm-i-g for global, at angular/CLI. Press enter. It will do some lovely installing for you. Once that's all gotten installed, we're going to create a little project. Type in ng new and then give your little app a lovely little name. So for example, in this one, we're going to call it REST API. So that's going to do some stuff now. I don't want to add Angular routing. It doesn't really matter for this tutorial. I'm going to say SCSS, even though we're not going to be doing any CSS in this tutorial either. And now we've got to wait while this goes through and installs our new project. I'm probably going to skip through this. I have skipped through this. A short while later. Do people still do that meme? I have no idea. Does that even? It's not even relevant anymore. Oh well. Here, okay. So we've just installed it. What we can do now is we can have a look, and we have a new folder that's called REST API because that's what we called our little project. And go into here, have a look at what we've got. And we've got some folders. We've got a README. We've got some other stuff. Not to worry about any of that. Go to the source folder. We have a thing called app, and we have a thing called index. So I'm going to go ahead and open this in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we're in Visual Studio Code now. If we have a look here, we've got this index file. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see things. And the thing that Angular has done here is it basically inserts itself here in the app root. And we're actually going to be taking our app. We have a component. And the component has some stuff already in it that Angular creates when you start up. So let's just have a quick look at what this looks like at the moment. So if we say ng serve, that's going to start our app. That's going to take some time. So while that's doing, let's talk over what's actually happening in the app here. So what we've got here, we have got this. This represents a binding of a variable. So it's not going to print welcome to squiggly title. It's going to print welcome to whatever this title variable is. So if we look at the component.ts, that's TypeScript file, we can have a look here. We've got title is defined as REST API. So it's going to say welcome to REST API. Let's have a look at how that's doing in terms of it's taking a while. It's going to take some time. Okay, finally it is now listening on localhost. Our app is running on localhost port 4200. So going to Chrome, we have our little app here. I've made it way too big. Welcome to REST API. Told you to say that. Got a little image of the Angular symbol there. And then some links from a little list. Okay, great. We can get rid of all that. And what we're going to do is we're going to be calling a REST API. And we're going to get the data from the REST API that can be from anywhere. So any REST API we can use to do this, but I've already got one set up here. It's a memes API. It's going to return this array of memes. Oh, rating 5.7. The body is Fight Club. If you know the meme, I respect you. Okay, so let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And let us just, let's get rid of the title. We don't need that. Let's knacker everything out of here. We don't need that. What we're going to do is instead we're going to create, a list. And we're going to say ng4 equals, and we'll say let meme of memes. Okay, like that. And then we'll put in here a little list item. And we're going to use that binding we saw earlier, the double squigglies. And we'll say something like meme.body, I think it is. Yeah, meme.body should work. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is create a service that's going to actually call the API for us, the REST API. So go over to the app folder and let's create a new folder and we'll call it service. Then we can create a new file and we'll call that, and in my case, I'm going to call it meme.service.ts. Angular convention is to sort of say dot whatever type it is. So for example, in here it says dot service. You'll notice here that it also says app.component. we're only concerned with creating a service at the moment, so it's .service, then .ts for TypeScript. So we're going to create this service, and it's going to be injectable. And what this means is that we can actually inject it into our class that's going to be using it. And you'll actually see an example of this when we actually use this service in a second, because we're going to use the HTTP client, which gets injected. So we don't actually have to instantiate it, it just gets injected. So you'll see what that means. It's a slightly weird concept if you've not seen it before. Say meme service like this. We'll give it a URL. In this case, the URL is just going to be a string, and it is going to be http localhost.8080/API. Now, obviously, that'll be different for you. That's just what I've set up as an example. So if we say constructor, and what we want to pass to the constructor is we want to say private HTTP and then of type HTTP client. This is going to be an empty constructor. Nothing's going to get instantiated. We're just going to import this HTTP client. So if we big problem, why is it kicking off? Do I have to type it out manually like a Neanderthal? Oh God. Oh, this is so painful. I've got to type it out manually because the IDE won't help me out here. Okay. We're getting further. It's going to work. Why is it doing... I want it to do single quotes. Okay. Angular /core/HTTP. No, it's common. It's common. Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. And I also want to change these because I don't like those double ones. Don't know why. Just don't. Then we'll say import. We also want observable. So observable, that's going to be the type that we're going to return from our REST API call. That's something, an observable is something that we can subscribe to as and when it comes back from our API. So in this case, we're going to create a method and we're going to call it get memes like this, and it's going to return an observable of type any at this point, doesn't really matter. I'm going to say return this.http get any, pass in this.url, and in this case I want to pass in the endpoint for my specific call, and that's memes. So there we go. Lovely little meme call there. And that's all we need to do for the service. So the next thing I want to really quickly do is just create a little model. That is a class that we're going to be using as a sort of to define the object we're going to be getting back from the API. So this is going to be really quick. So we'll create a new folder again. We'll just call it model. Where did that keyboard input go? Model. And we'll say new file, and we'll say meme.model.ts. And all we're going to do here is we're just going to say export class meme, say private. We have a rating for the meme, and that's going to be a string, private, and we have a body for the string as well, and that's going to be a string as well. Give it a constructor, and we're going to construct it by saying rating, string, and body, again of string. And you standard gubbins, we're going to say this rating is equal to rating, and this body is equal to body. Simple enough. I'm also going to define some getters, so just say get rating. That's going to return a string as you'd expect. Just say return this underscore rating, and again we'll just say get body, and we'll return a string as you'd expect, and say return this dot body. Cool. So I've just defined a little model there so we can make things easier when we actually come to using this. The service is all good. Let's go back to the component. What we're going to do in the component, well, what we're going to do is we are going to take our service and we have to pull everything in. So we'll make a call when we actually open this component for the first time. So we have to change something. We have to say implements on init Okay, then it's going to kick off at me because I haven't implemented on init yet. We're going to do that. Calm down. So we'll say public memes. In this case, it's going to be equal to an array of meme, like this. We'll have to import meme as well. So if we hover over here, quick fix, import meme. Wow, look at that. It did it for me. Brilliant. Go to our constructor. We'll create a constructor, and the constructor is going to inject into here our meme service. So meme service, like this, meme service. Again, we'll have to import that as well. Empty constructor. So very much like what we just did a moment ago with the HTTP client. Well, we're just going to do the same thing here because meme service is injectable. So we don't actually have to instantiate it. We just create a constructor, and Angular does all the magic for us. Next, we'll create our ng-on-init method. So this method gets called when we actually create the component for the first time, when we open it. So now what we can do, because we've got this meme service here, we can say this meme service, and then we'll say get memes. Then because it's an observable, we want to subscribe to it, and we will pass in the memes like this. So this is a lambda expression we're going to be using here. Like this. We can then say this.memes is equal to memes as array of memes. Okay. So that's all we need to do. And if we go back to Chrome now, so we're looking at Chrome and there's nothing here. I wonder why. Well, the reason for this is because we haven't actually imported our meme service and the HTTP client module into our app module yet. So if we have a look at the Chrome console to see what's going wrong, oh, look at that, we've got a null injector error. So this is that thing I was talking about where we have what's called dependency injection. We've got that thing where it's injectable, it gets injected, but the problem is that Angular has no idea what the meme service is yet. So let's go ahead and fix that now. So let's go all the back. Whoa, I'll go all the way back to code, and I don't know why my voice changed then. Go to the app.module file, and in the providers array, we need to add our meme service. We also need to add the HTTP client module. Not the HTTP client, because that trips me up every single time. I swear to God, oh my days. It's so annoying. You have to import the HTTP client module. Also, in the import section, we need to also specify that we're importing the HTTP client module. We also have to import our meme service. So say quick fix. It's going to work. It's going to work. There we go. So we don't actually have to import our meme service here, but we do have to obviously import it here so the file knows what's good. So let's go all the way back to Chrome now. And look at that. We've got our memes. Oh my God. There we go. We have our memes displayed in the list. So what's going off here? Well, back to the app component. We have this little list. So, and what's happening is for every one of the memes in our list, for which there are 2, it's creating a new list item, and we're just putting the meme body there. So we could also do something where we said, for example, we could add li. We could say meme dot rating. Whoops, I put ration because I thought it was World War II. Let's try this again. Oh, look at that, we've got a rating, and I've spelled delicious wrong. Oh, that's embarrassing. Well, on that note, it's time to end this video because now you should be able to know how to do HTTP calls using Angular. Ooh, cool. So if you've enjoyed that video or have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.